Boys.
Boys, that's right. Okay, boys, it's time to go back on the mic. Sorry, Cutter.
I'm ready.
We are live in the studio with Mr. Cutter Brandenburg, who
just say Cutter. I don't. Mr. makes me nuts. They call me Mr. C.
Mr. C.
There's an old song, Mr. Lee, oh Mr. Lee, and Unc changed it to Mr. C, Mr. C. You're the best old roadie, Mr. C, Mr. C. Did you ever did C? And so I became C, and then. Bruce, the singer, he was kind of a dingling, and we were the tops. I was C, he was Ling, and we were the top. And it was C and Ling. But great guy, Bruce Boland. I wonder if Bruce is out there tonight. I tell you, he's one of the few guys that always had that Sam Cooke voice thing. That cat, he could sing. Bruce could sing like Stevie could play. It was just. Dallas has got so many great artists, not just Dallas, but all of Texas.
Absolutely.
But Dallas is. I don't really think that some of the people in Dallas realize the capital of artists that you have here.
Oh, absolutely.
If the people would just know that to support live music, go out to a club, man. I don't care if it's $10 for a cover charge. Go to the grocery store and buy me $10 worth of stuff. What do you got? Nothing.
Right, nothing.
You support live music tonight for a $10 cover charge. Was it $20 for you and your old lady to get in? Right on. You have supported live music, man, and that's the best thing you could do with your money besides eating.
Absolutely.
I'm a big eater. So.
Absolutely, Cutter.
But I really think that was the thing that kind of helped Austin was Austin had a lot of clubs, and all the people would support those clubs.
Right.
And here in Dallas, we fought for years to keep one club after another. Is this club going to close? Okay, it did, but this one's open. Then the Deep Ellum area opened, and what a great thing. That should be just a wonderful thing, a great artist, different types of clubs, music, culture, everything down there. We just got to make it safe so everybody can go down there and still have fun. The Granada Theater now that's come up is a great place to go and see somebody. I mean, it's a great venue. It is a great venue. It sounds good. The guys, Michael and them, they put some money in the sound
good,
and lights.
Looks good.
And you can go there intimately. I saw Johnny Wonder back in December. And I've known Johnny for 35 years, and I've never heard him that good in so long. He's got his health back, his voice, his playing. I mean, it's neat to see clubs that pop up. Now we have to support them. We as listeners, we have people that love the arts, the music. I mean, don't be, I have never in all my years asked to have been on a guest list. I've always paid a cover, and I think everyone should. And a friend of a friend of a guest of a friend of a friend of a what? What's the deal? Pay your cover charge and support live music.
Right.
And I think the artists need that. I think the club owners need that. I think the arts that are here, and especially in Dallas, y'all have such a treasure trove of players that you don't even know. Some people don't know about Lance Lopez or West Star or West Jeans or Jim Suler. Some of the guys that have been here for years, they are here. You go to Des Moines, these people would love to be able to go out and see somebody like that.
I know.
You go to Oklahoma City, and they're going, yeah, we got a club tonight, yeah.
I know.
Not like Texas has got.
No,
Like we were talking about blues. There's really 4 types of blues. There's Texas blues, Chicago blues, Delta blues, and Piedmont blues. And all those blues are all intertwined by the same thing, with the gospel and country and western. And Texas is so rich in its music heritage. I mean, look, y'all go back to Bob Wills. I mean, we've had great players and great Robert John. We have great artists from every genre of music, and always have, and we always will. Mm-hmm. It's never going to stop. Mm-hmm. It's in the water.
What inspired Stevie and Jimmy to move to Austin? Well,
I think everybody that was in Texas, we went to Austin as an oasis because you could live there cheaply. You had a lot of venues you could play, and you could spoke out and go to San Antonio and go to Houston and go to Lubbock and go to Dallas and Fort Worth, but always come back. It was a hub. It was a good place to spoke out from, but always come back to, because you had a good support system there. The people, even in the local clubs, would come and pay that cover and come and support you on a Tuesday night.
Still do.
A Wednesday night.
Right.
You know, people go, well, I have to wait till Friday or Saturday. No. Austin was 7 days a week, man. I mean, some of the best shows I ever saw were Sunday afternoon at Armadillo, you know.
Right. Tell us, you've got a really cool story in the book. We're in the studio tonight with Mr. Cutter Brandenburg and his new
Mrs.
book.
Ginger.
Miss Ginger.
Miss Ginger. Miss Ginger.
Oh, okay. Do I keep saying that? I'm
you
sorry.
keep saying Mr. Cutter. I keep wanting to have someone like, all right, against the wall, man.
No, your dad's not here.
No, I'm...
Tell us about the extra skin story. I found that fascinating in your book.
Well, Stevie was always, you know, he had some pretty serious calluses, that's for sure. But I think a lot of people don't really realize how, you know, as good as Stevie was a player, he was a hard player. This guy played hard. I mean, there were gauges of strings that he would use that there's only a few gauges away and you'd be into piano wire almost.
Wow.
Huge strings. There's a story about Stevie's forearms, the muscles, his brother, his dad had them, his hands. And Stevie always had, you know, every once in a while he'd really get down and he'd rip a callus. And he found out that he maybe could take a little super glue and glue that callus back, or if he could get a little piece of skin somewhere off of somebody, he could glue that. And I'd say, hey, man, what are you doing? And he'd reach over and cut a little piece of skin, you know, off of me. I'd say, Vaughan, stop. Don't take no more of me, because, you know, it's not going to work anyway. But Stevie was one of these guys. He was so much fun. You'd almost think he was, are you for real, fella? You're gluing calluses on your finger? What are you doing? But it did work. It got him through the night, you know. I'd see some cats that couldn't play that good that night because their finger was bleeding or the callus was gone. They never stopped Stevie. It wasn't going to stop him. He just put a whole bunch of super glue on there and fold that callus back down and take off. And I go,
Oof. What was Stevie's first band?
Very first band was Liberation. I don't know if that's the first band. I think there was a band in Kimball High School that they played. The first band that I was with him with was Liberation. It was called Liberated Music for Liberated People. It was kind of like a Chicago or Blood, Sweat, and Tears. It had horns and the whole thing, guitar, organ. Well, no, we never played hardly any gigs that made money. I don't think we ever played a gig that made any money. But we did play one gig one night at the Fog, and that's the night that Uncle John Turner and Tommy Shannon had just left Johnny Winter after about 4 or 5 albums or whatever it was, and they were getting together with Bruce and some other artists, John Sahaley and Mike Kindred, and they were going to form a band called Crackerjack in Austin, and they were looking for other artists, and they walked in that night, and I knew them right away. I went, that's Uncle John and Tommy Shannon, man. And I ran over and said, can I get you a drink and stuff? And a couple of songs went by, and Stevie said, man, he came off that stage, he went straight to Tommy like butter on pancakes. I mean, he was all over Tommy. And Tommy was going, man, you're 15 years old? And Stevie goes, yeah. You know, and it was just, Tommy couldn't believe that he was that young. And Stevie couldn't believe he was talking to Tommy Shannon. I mean, this was a bass player that any guitar player wants to play with, those great bass players, those great, you know, those guys that lay that foundation so that you as an artist, you can just take off. And that's what Tommy and actually Whipper became, such a great foundation for Stevie. Once they got playing, Stevie knew he could go wherever he went. They were going to hold him. It was going to be there. It was a given. It made Stevie the artist be so much more free about as a player. But anyway, Tommy was, so that night when we drove home, Stevie was just beside himself, going, man, I'm going to play with that guy someday. I was going, yeah, wouldn't that be great? You know, thinking, well, you're nuts, you know.
Right.
But it happened. Not even a year later, we were living in Austin and on Tommy's front porch. I was living on the front porch until a tornado, and I finally moved into the front living room. But that was a great band. We moved to Austin with a band called Blackbird. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of an Allman Brother type thing. It had 2 drummers, 2 guitar players, Kim Davis, Stevie. And they traded like all guitar players do, but you know, I always said, as great as Kim was, he knew. I hope I don't hurt his feelings, but I know that it's true that he knew that at any minute Stevie's double clutch and you're toast.
Right.
You know,
right.
if we're battling here, you're not going to win. But as players, they were good players, good drummers. Roddy Colonna had an organ player. It was just David Frame bass player. A lot of these guys were from Dallas. In fact, all of them were. Dallas had so many artists that moved to Austin to make a living.
Still do.
And still do. And there's guys that come up from Austin and they try to play the Dallas shows, and there's some people that live here in Dallas and they're trying to struggle along, and it's always going to be a struggle, and that's okay. I think that struggle makes it good, but it's got to be, in the end, you got to have the people supporting you, not just buying a CD when you get one out, but coming out and having fun and, support live music.
Right.
Wow.
Absolutely.